issues. Minoka say the Bank of Ghana governor Alden Simbi Akwakotuja Ewa it has sparked a lot of praises and a lot of reaction. For starters, the CD is performing relatively well to the dollar as at yesterday, the 17th of October, Bank of Ghana, a rate of Milizi and so a dollar was going for 10 CDs 70 pesos, but the buying rate was 10 CD 69 pesos. So this was the exchange rate as at yesterday. But then share 1 year when Akufo-Addo was in power to now, and 1 year ago, the same dollar was somewhere around 15, 16 cedis. And this definitely, amount for any home. But then the main issue here is in Sema the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Ode Akwakotuja Ewa Memo Party say, Sisi ano de almost share economy, na sin almost share economy, they believe that very soon Ghana will leave the IMF. Now, there's a video involved, but then let's read this particular thing and see a bit to us. So, also Ghana on track to exit IMF in 2026, Bank of Ghana, BoG governor. Also, Ghana is well positioned to exit the International Monetary Fund's 53 billion extended credit facility program. Also, say extended facility program when it ends in May 2026, says Johnson Pandit Isiama, Bank of Ghana governor. Governor Isiama said the country has started running ahead of program targets on virtually all indicators, demonstrating a strong economic turnaround from the challenges experienced in the past few years. So what he's saying is that currently, Ghana IMF program program it is going to end in May next year, ending next year, May 2026. We have the opportunity as a country to renew it. See, ebe could be so akọ for another program. But Opache said, "Send an email corner. You beat me if you program." And this is the first time Mahama is openly because Mahama in the D can Ghana IMF and they see and also Akufo-Addo or better as see on their own IMF. So things are really looking good for Ghana in that regard. But you go see in some Bank of Ghana governor Eddie Tuja in regards with this particular news abe top no so ye better so.
Dr. Asiama Johnson, if I may, welcome to this Governor Talk series.
Thank you.
Please welcome, really very grateful that you're here to answer questions. Governor, I wanted to ask you to this event today because, you're inheriting an economy that has been gone through a lot in recent years. Through the end of 2024, we've seen a lot of volatility in financial market prices. Of course, there's the broader challenges of the economy emerging from significant debt restructuring and all the other shocks in recent years.
Right.
Not to mention quite a bit of exchange rate pressure. How have you taken the first few months in office? What do you see as the big challenges, and how are you confronting them?
Well, thank you very much, Abebe, and thank you for having me. It's been 8 months since we came into office, and just as you said, we came to meet a challenged economy in the sense that remember we had the domestic debt issue in 2022. Fiscal policy was highly expansionary. It led to us exiting the international financial markets. There was resort to domestic financing. You remember all the sovereign downgrades that we had to suffer. And so we came into office with lots of liquidity, high inflation, exchange rate that was, depreciating widely. And I remember when we came in, there was talk about whether we should, cancel the program altogether. There were doubts as to whether we would be able to, carry on with the program and end it. But I'm happy to say that 8 months down the road, we have turned the corner. Ghana is back. Inflation, we met it at nearly 24%. Currently, it's down to 9.4%. We have seen a strong rebound in growth. We are running ahead of program targets for the year on almost everything. You name it, inflation, reserves build-up, economic growth, we are running ahead. And we are happy to announce that we will be able to exit the fund program come next year. And so far, so good. First 8 months has been revealing. We think that we have done a good job. We are getting all the upgrades from our rating agencies, which shows clearly that we are on the right path. Let me also take the opportunity to thank the IMF for the support. We've had tremendous policy support. They've worked with us in this journey, and we intend to stay to go along with them.
Thank you, Johnson. You know, inflation, of course, is the most important focus for a central bank. And one of the things we've observed, and as you noted, has been the deceleration in inflation in recent months. Can I ask, did you have to, one of the first things you had to do was to tighten, or you had inherited a sufficiently tight monetary policy stance? What other actions did you take to get inflation to get to your target range?
So when we came in, we saw that we had to do a number of things. Even the entire monetary policy framework needed to be upgraded. We needed to strengthen the credibility of the central bank. There was a lot of liquidity, that had built up, and so we needed to do lots of sterilization. We also needed the complementary, efforts from the fiscal authorities, and so we had to engage the fiscal authorities at the same time. And then you also needed to look at food prices. So it was a complementary effort across all fronts that has helped to, deliver the disinflation we are looking at. But we give a lot of credit to the tight monetary policy stance we have preserved. Currently, even though we are easing, we are still holding that anchor very strong. Strong liquidity management, strong sterilization. For that, we will not compromise, even as we ease downward.
Maintaining such a monetary policy stance cannot have been easy. Huh? I'm sure questions must have been raised.
Very much so. The cost to the central bank's balance sheet has been immense. To give you an idea, almost stock currently is around 85 billion Ghana cedis. And out of that, the sterilization we have done this year alone accounts for about 65 billion. And so, yes. But there's a price to stabilization. There's a cost to stabilization. We are in discussions with the fiscal authorities for them to assist us, probably to pick up part of that cost. But as they always say, stability is a public good. When there's macroeconomic stability, there's a cost to it. Someone needs to pay for it. So far, we are in that discussion. Because remember, at the beginning, I made that point that I needed to rebuild the balance sheet of the central bank. As you are aware, we came in to meet a bank that was, hardly, solvent policy-wise. And so that is also being tackled alongside the stability that we have.
In addition to the impact on the profitability of the bank, there must be some impact on credit growth to the private sector also.
Very much so.
How is that evolving right now in this relatively tight monetary policy environment?
So we have seen some private sector credit saw some decline. And to put it into context, when you relate
Actual,
it
the level decline or just the rate of growth?
We saw some rate of growth, decline in the rate of growth. But that aside, it is a fact that compared to our peers, private sector credit is the lowest, among our peers. It's one of the things we are looking at. You have a growing youth population, you have women-owned businesses that need to be supported with credit. And so going down the road, we are looking at ways to enhance that. But remember also that the non-performing loans ratio, for banks, we came to meet at a very high level. And so we are controlling that as well. We are urging banks to enhance their risk management frameworks so that even as we scale up private sector credit delivery, we do not worsen, that anchor. But it's something that we are tackling. I was surprised when last week I decided to look at the data. We have it disaggregated in terms of women-owned businesses, in terms of the geographical distribution of credit. What is clear is that it's all concentrated around the capital. And then women's own businesses need to have more of such, not to talk about the youth front. And so the focus has to be on some sort of diversifying this range. But you know, that draws us into structural policy. So it's something we'll be working together with. Now that there's a return to, you know, macroeconomic stability, this is something, a conversation we will be having together with the fiscal authorities to take this forward.
Thank you for that, Governor. You know, everybody's talking about gold these days, so I have to ask a question or two on that. Huh?
Yes.
Specifically, maybe we can start with this domestic gold purchase program.
Right.
Can you briefly explain how the setup of gold board, like I guess an analogy for cocoa board, huh?
Yes.
How that is helping the Bank of Ghana to support the buildup of international reserves, what the thinking behind this whole initiative has been?
Right, so it all started from March this year when decision was made to have a public institution that would be in charge or in control of the purchase, the selling, buying of gold, assaying of gold, export of gold. Why? Because we noticed there were a lot of leakages. There were all kinds of individuals that were involved in, you know, buying gold, exporting gold. Now, when those exports were done, the foreign exchange was not returning to the country. And so that's how come Gold Board, which is a public institution, was set up from March this year. Since then, they've done a tremendous job. You can imagine it from March up to probably last week. They've brought in about $8 billion just with this, you know, this short time, you know, span. And that has supported us in terms of our reserves build-up. What we do is we intermediate what comes from their angle, and then the rest goes into our reserves. So yes, the Gold Board framework has been complementary, but that's not to say they don't have their own issues. As an institution that is just starting, there are teething issues that have to be addressed. But we emphasize responsible gold sourcing, and we made it clear to them. So when they export, the foreign exchange accrues to the central bank. And so we intermediate the FX. And so it's like a revolving kind of fund that we operate. And I think so far it's been complementary, you know, helping us to build our reserves.
So the FX